recording. Okay, let's look at this. Oops. Are you used to having a lot of video materials when you do?
First year we had, but not.
First year? Yeah. No, it's not uncommon, at least. Okay. Okay. So what should we do now? I think let's see if we have something to not read me. Let me just check up where we are. Slides. I had my notes. Afternoon we are. We check out those 2 example programs. And there were a whole guide about that on the wiki. So that was there. We are going to do this now. So let's set up a Node Express EJS server. Let's see how that works out. Okay. Let's see how that works out. So we have a whole setup there, right? Where should we start? Let's just move on there. Where is the things we're going to do now? We can go back and check article about it. So where would this article be? It would be in home. Like this. Home, reload the page. Yeah, it's going to be this article then. This is the assignment, and this is what we're going to do now. So I'm gonna go the fast track all around this, and let's cut me off at latest 1400. Yeah, and then we just stick around to get it going. So what is it that we have here? So I have a lot of stuff here. I do have. Let's be daring and remove some stuff of it. I do that. You don't need to do that. I will remove, just for the fun of it, these things. There we go. And I will end up with this sort of basic stuff that we are going to go through then. So this is a Node application. It is dependent on 2 NPM modules that I need to install. And the way to install them into this sort of project I am in here now is to use NPM. And I'm going to, just to show it off, I'm going to initiate this directory with a package.json file, because I'm going to work here and I want to sort of save all the packages and their versions that I'm working on in this context. So I'm going to start on doing this. So I just call this WebSoft. It really doesn't matter for now. I just click around this. Don't care. These are essential when I'm going to have my own module and publish it to the NPM package repository. Then this is essential. But for now I don't mind. I don't really care. The file I get is this. It's a JSON file. So it might look like this. It's just some default stuff here. So, but I'm going to use Express and EJS. And I think I will install them by doing Express and EJS, but I'm not completely certain, so I need to have a quick look in my guide. Yep, worked that far, so I'm going to install them. So it will take some time. Bang. when you start working with NPM and NPM modules, you will see that it turns out to be a lot of modules you're getting. So modules are depending on other modules and vice versa, and there might be a lot of modules. So I see in my directory here now, I got this package.json file that was from the npm init. When I did npm install of these packages, I got a log file. It's just saying these are the versions you are currently have installed. So it's a cache file, so to say. And then everything is installed in the Node modules directory. And if I want to start all over again, I can just remove that directory and the log file and then do an npm install again. Let's see how the package file was updated. It was updated like this. So I now have this project. It has dependency on these versions of EJS, the template engine, and Express, the application server. So there are. I can see what version I'm using. And if we're looking in Node modules, we see that, can I scroll here? Maybe, can I that? No, I can't scroll here. There I scroll. So maybe I have a few ls Node modules. So these are all the modules from each and every one of these can be found in the npm package repository. Might be different developers, might be the same developers, I don't know. So it's a bunch of code that's actually downloaded onto my computer then. So, okay. I got that now. But what is this all about, basically? Let's have this terminal a bit like this. And we have the web browser a bit like that. And, well, where does it start? We have 4 example programs. So we have index and index 1 to 4. We're going to review index 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're basically done. And then we will have a whole overview of all the directories in this sort of example and why they are there. So maybe we start with that. Let's go there. Express. The first thing that is walked through in this article in that sense is the index S01.js. This is a small setup to get an Express application server up and running and creating a route that will sort of answer. And what is actually, let's see what happens here. It's not too many things, but we can go through them. It's nice to know what actually happens. This is the port I will start up my server on. And this is sort of set up. If I have defined an environment variable outside of the program, use that instead. Otherwise, take 1337 as the default port for this. Okay, nice. Here is how to require the Express module that we installed using npm express, npm install express. This is how to require it into our program. So now we have an Express module, and the first thing we are doing, we are using that module to create an app object. And the app object it's our app. It's the whole setup. So now we can configure the app, how it should run, how it should work. So what should we do? Let's create one. Let's create we will call this middleware later on here. But let's say that for each request, for any request coming into this server now, so the server will go up, it will start listening on 1337, and whatever comes in there, something will happen. And so here we add something just to let me know you're alive, let me know you got the request, just print it out so I can debug it. So just a logger route. So all requests will pass through here. And here is this is a callback. It's a function expression. It's the arrow type of function. So it got 1, 2, and 3 arguments sent into it. And I'm just printing them out somehow here. And then it's just moving on to the next in line here. So, okay, some kind of logging middleware. Okay, what do I have next here? This is all code. So, this is actually working like a web server. So we're doing HTTP onto it, and this URL linking. So what should happen when the user requests the root URL, the main URL? Well, let me provide a get route for that. So it should reply on get. It is the HTTP protocol. It has, you can do get, you can do post, you can put, patch, delete, and so on. There are many types of requests you can do. Main request we are doing when we open up a web browser, it's a get request. So that's why we have get here. Yeah. You know about REST API, so you know about get, put, post, and so on. Yep. So this is a get, answering only on get requests. On this route, and there is callback, just doing a console log, and then we are doing another one, same thing, answering on the about. Okay, nice. So we have 2 routes here. Have you ever programmed anything sort of structure-wise like this, where you use a router answering on different incoming routes or incoming paths? Each path has its own callback, dealing with the specific request. Yes, no, not so much. A bit? Okay, good. So this is we are just adding route here, and each route has its own callback. And the last thing here is to kick up the app, start listening on the port I said, and the first thing you should do is to execute this function expression just for a startup. Show off what port you're listening on, and show me the routes I have obviously created in you, just for my own sort of debugging purpose. Okay? So there we go. Let's start it up. Here we go. Whoops. And we started by doing node index.1. .js or Node.js, doesn't care. Let's start it. And there we go. So we have a server up and running on 1337. We're listening on, it has 2 available routes. And let's connect to it. See if it works. HTTP. One more try. HTTP :/ localhost : 1337, and there we go. Yes, nice server. So if you for some reason your localhost does not work, try with the other 127.0.0.1. There we go. Should most likely work that also. So it's only saying hello world, and you see here in the background, each time I do, let's do a reload. Got the request on /. Let's do a reload again. Got the request on /. Okay, nice. Let's go to the other one. It was about, right? Yeah, about something. Got another request there on about. And you see this favicon icon? It's when I go to the, let's see if it happens there. No, it doesn't. No, it's not. It's cached now. But sometimes when it's a browser thing, when they go to that server, first time they're trying to find this favicon, so it's doing it sort of in the background. So I didn't do it in the code. It's in the background. Checking to see if there is a favicon.ico, because the standard says it could be. Okay, So hello world, and about something. Cannot get. Okay, obviously I have some error handling if the route is not there. So let's see that. Not too much code. Let's move on to the next one and see what happens there. So let's, a bit like before, let's add some more code and let's add some structure to it so it makes it easier to build it. Let's add things to files and modules and whatever. So look here, we have another main program. So I obviously have log startup details to console. So this is a bit large now. This is actually the main program now. So this is all kicking up the app server then. The last thing that happens here is to start listening on this port and execute my log function below here, just showing off the routes I have. Okay, yes, that was the port. Creating the Express object, creating the app object. Okay, I got that one. So what do we have here then? We have this. That is actually sort of replacing the other code I had in the first one. I want to put them out on different sort of files. So here I have, let's start with route index. So there are two places I have route index. I'm requiring it from route index.js. So I have a module there who is obviously returning something there that I'm using. So I'm mounting those routes there are. Mounting those routes on the slash path. Okay, let's see that first. So I have put up my routes here. I put them up in route index. I basically just moved all my route handlers to another file. So they are still looking exactly the same code, I think. I just need to include the Express, and I want to work with a router here. So that is okay. I got a router. So I'm having a router and adding callbacks to it. And when I'm done, I'm going to export the router. So okay. So from this file, a complete router with as many callbacks as I have defined will be loaded into my index.to there, stored in that variable and mounted onto the app server there. So those two routes are placed directly on the slash. Okay. So then we have these two things there. Basically, this was the logging. I said I call it middleware. This was the logging function for all incoming requests. Just print out which path you are sort of requesting, so which handler you'll go to. So I have put them out in this module. So let's go to middleware. Middleware there. I have an index there. Yes, nothing much here. It's just a function. This is only a function, and I'm exporting it as within an object, only having one function, property name there. So it's just sort of logging stuff. So this could be useful when you are sort of debugging your application, because here you can put in a lot of what was the incoming data, what was outgoing, what was the query, string, session perhaps, if you want to move on and work with this, doing session and log in. What did the session contain when it comes in? Yeah, so it's nice to have a log thing. So let's just forget that one and we have index 2 middleware. Okay. Yeah, nice. Let's just see that. Let's just ensure that that is actually working more or less the same as the first one. It's this, since I'm using the route object now, I'm getting a bit different structure. So that's why my sort of startup function needed a larger loop to loop around to actually print out the actual routes in it. But it looks more or less the same. So let's go. Just see about. Yes, I see I got the request there in the background. There, yes, I got the request. Yeah, you really need to have both the server side, because here is the server side in the terminal. This could be on another machine. Now it's on the same machine. So I want to debug both on the server side, and I can see what comes up on the sort of browser client side. I need to have these views at the same time. Okay. Nice. Let's see what comes next in index 3. Okay, let me just scroll down. Try to see what actually happened. Log up, log start up. No, nothing happened there. What happens here? Okay. I'm requiring path. And this path, then I know that it is a Node.js doc library. So if I want to check it up, what it actually does for me, I go to Node.js doc path, and I come to this reference documentation. So in this program here, I have it on there. So I'm actually only using it there for something. Joining a path. It's a search path, I guess, based on my current directory where this current file is located, and then add the path of a public. So it's a subdirectory from where I'm standing. It's actually, I'm here in index 3, and obviously I have a public directory here now. There, I have a public directory. Looking a bit like our work report page. It actually is in Swedish. Oh, but still, it is all your report page there. Okay, why do I have it there? Let's move on. No, that was the only thing that changed up here. So this example is all about that. And what we have done this far is to create an app server, 1337, created 2 routes, and the logging middleware, and some error handler in the background, dealt with Express. And then we want to add, so how do I add a normal HTML page? Or how do I add a style sheet? Or how do I add a client-side JavaScript page? How do I make the Express server to work a bit like a normal web server, like Apache and so on? Then I need to add static content also. So this Express server, it can handle these dynamic routes that I'm coding, but it can also handle static web content. So one part that you will do when you work through the assignment and set up things, you should, well, basically all this public stuff there, you should replace that with your own, a copy of your work report, just to see that you can actually copy all of your files right in there in this public directory, and you can access them as an ordinary web server. So we are adding static content to Express, and we are taking the static content from that directory. So let's just see how this works. Let's remove that. Yeah, we go up to index 3. There we go. We still have these routes, so we don't see the sort of static route. So we have hello world. Yes, I got a request. I have /about. Yep, that worked. And then I should have something like report.html perhaps. No? Okay. We call it redovisning. It's a very Swedish one. Let's call me.html. That will work, I hope. Yay, there we go. So there we are requesting that static HTML page. And it comes there. And if we sort of try to remember when we were in developer tools, we loaded up the networks tab. We saw how many parts are actually loaded by the browser when I'm requesting my me page. Okay, you get the HTML document, and then you're parsing the HTML document, and then you find I have a style sheet, so I need to get that. It's another request. Yeah, you had a JS script, okay. It's another request. I need to get that. And obviously you had an image also. Well, it's another request. So, yeah, a bit like we've seen before then. To actually display this web page, we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 different requests to the web server. And all these are static content and are delivered then from the public directory. So then you can have dynamic routes and static content all together to make a nice sort of web application, whatever. And it then works like you're sort of expecting from an ordinary web server. Okay, that was static content. What do we... I know what's behind door number 4. It's the last door. So, if we want to do more than just printing out the message, how could we do that? How to actually sort of generate web pages from a dynamic route. And how to do that in a nice way. Well, let's see. This is the example on how to do that. So just see, no, I got path, yes, Express, I got the app, I got the route, there is a new thing, I got a new route. So there it is. So actually I have created a new route. It's in route today.js. It's a module there. And I mount that route onto today. Okay? So I actually don't know what path I'm going to use yet. I need to go into that object to actually see what it has, perhaps on subpath. But it's mounted on my main app on /today. Well, that was all. No, one thing more. La 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 la. There we go also. So we have added a view engine. So app now is aware that we have a view engine, and we call our view engine EJS. So it will sort of, when we are using files that are according to the EJS standard, it will sort of know how to deal with it. So a bit built in, and now we're going to use EJS. And here we can have, there's a lot of different view template languages out there. So EJS is just one of them. I usually select EJS because it's as close to JavaScript as can be. So we're actually writing JavaScript language in our web pages. Okay. So what to do? Let's see what today is. So today is going to show us how to work with the views. And I go in there. Let's go to the route. Let's go to today. Here we have another module. It's a router module. So I have a router. I'm adding a get route on /. So then I'm adding here in this local router, it's added on slash. But in my main program, I mounted this on slash today. So then you sort of need to do a bit of string concatenation in your mind. Okay, slash today, slash, this is the index route. So this is what I will get when I add slash today on my app server. We'll see. So, okay. Oh, here I got a bit more programming. It's basically this one. So I'm getting an object just for the data. I'm filling this object with a date property, and it has the date of today as its content. Okay, so I could add more stuff to this this property if I liked. I could add data dot mega is, it must be Michael then, like that, and so on. Could add an array, JSON object, just add it. And the thing about this data is that we're going to send that to the view. So we're sending that whole variable, or its content, to the view. And there we are supposed to work with it, because we are going to create an HTML page that actually then has this date value in it. It's a page showing off today's date. Yeah. So we're going to render. We're going to render the web page. And we're going to render today. And since I mounted this, well, I'm using this template engine. This today here will map for a view I have in that directory that is called today. Let's see if we can open these in the same time. Split right, remove it, there we are, save that. So here's the route. When we call render, it will actually sort of parse this template file, today.ejs. And the variable date there is coming from date there, and it will be outprinted. And let's see if we are very, very lucky. We will see. We could perhaps see the other property also. Mega, that is called. Mega is today. So yeah, we sort of implicitly we understand this is going to look like a web page, and I know what's coming out there. So date and mega responds to date and mega, all wrapped in this dot object here. It's an object sent to the view. The view today.js, it's in the view directory. It will render the data. Yeah, let's see if it actually works. So let's go there. There we go. So we got the node index 4. It's actually the same as node index. So it's the last example there. Now we see I have the slash route, I have the about route, and this one is a bit lying since it's saying I mounted a slash, but I mounted it on today. So I guess Michael should sort of do another log there, because we go here and start. Okay, the page works. Yes, still static content, and we got the about page still working, and we got the today page working. Yeah, we got the today page working. So let's just do it once more. So there we go. I load the today page. There it does. Yeah, I load it again, and I think it will change there, right? Yep. So it's printing out the date together with this one. We're getting a request incoming /today. And that will then map towards the, we have the index there. It will map to this one. And route today was actually route today there. And this is the route. This is the index route. Yeah. Should I stop now? Can you see the flow? More or less? Good. This is the basic stuff. And there might be a few things you actually have to learn to pass the assignments. I don't really remember what I put on grade 3, 4, or 5 there. But I said something about query string. I said something about providing a JSON response instead of an HTML response like this. So I say it's small stuff, but I know that I will find exactly these in the sort of manual. And what kind of manuals are we talking about now? We are talking about, we are talking about Express.js, documentation, request. Let's see if we can find the reference documentation for Express.js. Thank you. So here we have, it's a really nice documentation on Express. So if you're going to do your project in this is a good place to hang then. Because we have this major object, the whole Express, and we have the application object, the app, and we have the request, incoming request from the web server or the client, and we can see how we work with the response. That is the response that the application server is sending back. And we have the router. And we also need to know how to deal with EJS, how to do a loop. No, I don't want to go to Stack Overflow. I want to go to EJS. Let's hope that this is the one. This is the main site for EJS. So I would suggest we start going here for the documentation, see how it works. I would stick here to see how the tag works, how I can actually, oh, here is a loop. Yeah, that was not a for loop, but it's a for each loop. Yeah, it's a kind of loop. So how I actually can work with this template language when rendering the web pages. This is the place to sort of go to. So you have a lot of different places for this reference documentation, but just try to remember which one is the correct one. I'll end there. So if you don't have anything other on your mind, it might be a good suggestion just to get up and running at the same speed I am right here now. Create your own sort of app server, get it up and running, npm install, get Node online, see that you could work with it. Yes, you have. Yes, it's an example program that will most likely give you a lot of things, but still you need to sort of, maybe the challenge is to work your way around the example program, add things to it. So I guess it's still a kind of friendly environment for you to actually go through the assignment. I think it's a good way to get going. Okay, should we end?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, see you Monday if you don't stick around.